Welcome into our overtime segment here on SportsSource.tv. I appreciate you joining us. The folks that are with me here are Chuck Cavaleris, Josh Ward, Jimmy Himes, Bob Hodge. Champagne is still on the table. You've got champagne and coffee, I guess you're mixing. It's quite a
I just wish I had a Red Bull.
Shelfie. Yes. We are here thanks to Blue Smoke Cigar. You see their name right there. You see their website right there. A membership with these guys. They're located out in West Knoxville, right there at South Peters Road and Kingston Pike. They're kind of on the corner in that little shopping center. Membership there gets you your own personal locker, 15% off Blue Smoke's elite selection of fine cigars, 10% off at McScrooge's Wine and Liquor, access to their HD TVs, their lounge area, card tables, golf simulators, and more. It's a great place. If you enjoy a cigar, that's the place to go in East Tennessee, Blue Smoke Cigar. All right. Gentlemen, earlier this season, basketball season, when Tennessee's attendance was a little low for a team on its way to an SEC title, we put out a Twitter poll and asked folks, why aren't people showing up? And 14% of the people who responded said Barnes isn't a showman. Heard that a lot the last 2 years too. That, well, people aren't, we want a showman. We need a showman. We need Ray Mears. We need Bruce Pearl. That's what we want at Tennessee. Well, you want an SEC championship. All right. You only had 10 of those, and it's been 10 years since you got the last one. He's now won as many in 3 years as Bruce Pearl won in 6 years. Good stuff. Crowd was packed over there the other day, on Saturday. The arena was full. But would it have been more fun for Tennessee fans if they'd had a Bruce Pearl, down at Auburn, they win the championship. Bruce Pearl's out there throwing out player names and saying, "Can I get an amen?" And people are cheering. He's got the microphone. He's doing his Carnival Barker thing. Rick Barnes is, well, I'm very proud of this team, and we've done the right things. Woodville fans have responded sooner, better, enjoyed it more if they'd had a showman as coach. And again, 14% said they wanted a showman, and that's why they weren't showing up. So, does this program need a showman?
Should I give the same answer?
You give the same answer. We'll let you start and we'll see if anybody disagrees with you.
No, they don't. 14% is a low number to me. So, no, I don't. I think what they care about is they care about winning. They care about you playing hard. They care about you being a blue-collar team, which they are. There were 4 sellouts over there. Tennessee being the top 8 in attendance in the country. They average over 16,000. I think it's about winning. If you win, they'll come. Would some people have enjoyed the Barnum and Bailey show of Bruce Pearl more? Some, yes. But I don't think you need it.
I think you would have also had, you got to remember back when Bruce Pearl was coaching, there wasn't the SEC network, so you didn't have as many games on television, even though most of them were still on television. And I also think that you had done a little bit better attendance-wise without the 9 p.m. tip-offs, especially 9 p.m. during the week.
You're right, that hurt.
So I think that hurt you a little bit. But no, I don't think you need your showman. And some people have compared it, okay, what about Jerry Green? You didn't have great attendance with Jerry Green. You didn't have a lot of people like Jerry Green, and he won. You had good attendance. Yeah. And I think Jerry Green was a little bit of a wet blanket, and his team was a little bit too up and down, and people didn't buy in with it the way they have with.
He also invited fans not to come.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe the only time I've ever heard of Chuck doing that.
You don't want to go shop.
You can go down to Kmart.
Rent you a movie.
Does UT need a showman?
I would say no, Tennessee doesn't need a showman, and Rick Barnes proved that this year and over the weekend winning a championship. But would some fans still prefer that? Sure. Absolutely.
14%.
Because
every year, to me, out of 100 people, 14. That's not a. Yeah. It's not one. It's
a low number to me.
But
very low.
And part of it is Tennessee's not going to win a championship every year, or maybe even. It won't even be in the hunt every year either. So in those seasons, I think somebody like Bruce Pearl would more likely get fans excited. That's why, to the discussion earlier as well, I would say still a football school, because fans are going to be passionate about what's going on with football no matter what. With basketball, it takes a little something else. But to win, no, Tennessee doesn't need a showman. Tennessee just needs the right coach, and it has the right coach right now because Tennessee has a championship.
And I'd say, to me, there's 2 different distinct eras of Bruce Pearl, the showman, the first 3 years and the last 3. And the last 3, they didn't win as much as they did the first part.
The Elite 8 makes people forget. There was grumbling those last 3 years. You can't get as past the Sweet 16. You're not playing the same. The style changed because it wasn't the up-tempo stuff as much as it had been the first 3 years.
And look at the situation that was inherited by this staff, man. I mean, look at all Tennessee had been through, the changes. And when I look at the Tennessee attendance, John, and the stats you had a week or so ago, it has improved 10 to 15% each year.
But that's not a very big number. 15% is not big.
So, I mean, the attendance is getting better.
3 years, that's 45%.
And I still go back to this. It's been the worst case of the flu in over a decade. And you had people who were either sick or they didn't want to get out and be around a crowd.
Okay, well, all right.
And that's a factor.
And I'll go something else.
I'm talking about, does this you've had people who've said it in the past. They want a showman. They like a showman. We've done shows. We've done polls in the past that tie to that as well. I think there are people out there who do. You and I talked about this once. I think those people weren't Tennessee basketball fans. They were Bruce Pearl fans.
They were Bruce Pearl fans.
And when he left, they became Auburn fans.
And I also think that you got a unique situation at Tennessee because you had Bruce Pearl, but you also had Ray Mears. And that's where the showman stuff started back in the 60s and the 70s. So you've got people around here who the word showman and basketball coach, they were raised on it. That's what everybody thought it should be, and so I think Bruce Pearl, okay, yeah, that's great. We got what we want. But I think a lot of this goes back. It would be interesting to take that 14% and see what percentage of those are also Ray Mears.
And in the SEC right now, the SEC right now, how many head coaches are the showmen?
Well, exactly. That's it. We've talked about this in the past at times. Now you got a championship, so I'm bringing it back up. But at the time, it's like, how many guys really ride a unicycle and take their shirts off and paint their chests and
have a juggling bear
and do all this? I mean, there aren't many of them. And to me, look, I'm a New England Patriots fan. I know people who are Alabama fans. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are the joyless grumps of the world. They don't look like they're having fun. I got news for you. Alabama fans and Patriots fans, real happy with all those titles.
Yeah, really.
Real happy. Don't need a showman. And I think that true Tennessee basketball fans could care less. They want the banner. I think all these people that talk about, well, I wish we had a showman. You know, we need a guy that jumps up on the table. You know, Conzo Martin, they beat him up for that because he wasn't out in the community. Rick Barnes has had some of that. He hadn't been out in the community as much. All right, well, I don't think you need it. Win. That's what matters.
And how many times is your team a reflection of the coach? And you have that in Tennessee. It's not flashy. It's a blue collar. It's that true grit. It's the getting the job done and playing together and paying the price to be good. This team is paid the price to be good.
Here's the thing too about that. Rick Barnes doesn't even want himself introduced pregame. He wants to focus on the players, and there may be 14% of people like that. But that's too small of a number to care. But now I think there are people that appreciate that he puts a focus on the players, not himself. And by the way, if you're going to ride unicycles and all that, and you don't win, then you're a fool.
Yeah, then
because that's what happens to you.
Then you're Butch Jones. No. Again, he was all about the marketing. And all you've heard from
Derek
fans
Dooley,
because
his goofy press conferences, and at first you looked like the personality, but then you didn't win games, and that's held against you.
But how much have you heard people say about Butch Jones specifically? All they worried about was marketing. It was all PR.
And all his little sayings.
Yeah, and that's because he wasn't winning. Now, when you had a basketball coach and you're not winning, like Conzo Martin, because he's not the problem is he didn't do the PR. The bottom line is winning. Yes. Whatever you're doing, if you win, it'll be fine. So I agree with you. I don't think they need a showman. I think those people who say we have to have a showman, they're not Tennessee. They're not hardcore Tennessee basketball fans.
Agreed.
I guarantee you those people didn't pay attention before Bruce Pearl. Then Bruce Pearl came and they're like, whoo, this guy's fun, let's go. And then he left. It's like, nah, I don't care anymore. That's not a Tennessee basketball fan. That's a Bruce Pearl fan. And hopefully they've waited and had a good year at Auburn this year. But I don't think Tennessee needs a showman. I think it's silly.
Been interesting to see if Donnie Tyndall would have been a showman.
Show Cosman. All right. Chuck, Josh, Jimmy, Bob, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Now we got to finish up all this champagne that's left over. We'll see you next Sunday once we sober up.